We are live. We have Brandon here. Hello, Brandon. Thanks for joining. I have my mystery guest in the background, ready and waiting. So we're not going to have like a long half an hour introduction today. It's just literally going to be bring the guests in and away we go. If anyone else is in the chat, if you could let me know and say hi, that would be great. I have 3 people I can see in there. We'll wait for the numbers, see if there's any more that drop in, and then we'll bring the guests in. But I think you'll be happy with who we've got on this week. Anyone else in the chat? We've got a few more people popping in, which is great. Can you hear me okay, Brandon? I hope you can. Right, well, the numbers, we're starting to get a few more people in now. So what we'll do is we'll bring the guest in and we'll say hello. Hello, Russell. Hello, Tara. Hello, Taffy. Obviously, hello, Brandon. Thank you all for joining us. Much appreciated. Right, let's bring the guests in. Here we go. Nick.
Hey.
And we have 2 for the price of 1.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Had a nice weekend.
Good. What did you both get up to this weekend then? Let's start with that.
Well, we went out with the boys and my brother and his son. Yeah, yesterday and had a nice day out. And then today we kind of just like chilled out and built some forts and did boy stuff really. But yeah, it's been fun.
We went to Essex yesterday to see the wife's family for a little bit. So it was an up and down trip. So yeah, she was a bit knackered from doing that. But yeah, all good. Enjoying the weather. Getting some nice sun now, aren't we? So all good.
Yeah, it's nice to finally have spring here. So are you both going to be doing a spring video, do you think, at all?
Maybe.
No,
No,
we'll see if one pops up.
Excellent. And Russell says, all looking sharp with new haircuts.
Oh, mate, I can't even tell you how happy I was to get a haircut.
Me too.
And had a rush of energy when the clippers came on.
Seriously, it was like, oh, let's go, do this.
Brilliant. Excellent. Right, well, we're going to have to do my normal format with my mystery guest live. I've got a load of questions. We'll see what we get through. I hope you've all got some time in the chat. I've spoken to the gents here, and we've not really got a massive time constraint. We don't want to go to bed too late. We've all got work tomorrow, but we've not really got a curfew, which is good. So thanks, Joe. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, John. Hi, yeah, thank you. So yes, so what we'll do, firstly, I've been intrigued to ask this question. And I've been intrigued to actually get you both on. It's just finding sort of, now I'm getting back into it. You know what? It became a bit of a, not a chore, but a bit challenging to try and get people in that maybe I don't talk to on a daily basis. So I'd get to sort of, really you've got to be approaching people a week or 2 before, but I'll be getting to a Monday or Tuesday and thinking, right, I better ask someone. And it'll be Wednesday and Thursday, I better ask someone. And then by the time you get to Thursday, it's a bit short notice for people and it feels like it's a bit of an afterthought. Hopefully I gave you guys enough notice.
Yeah.
It was about a week, wasn't it?
Plenty.
Yeah, more than enough notice, mate. Don't do anything anyway. I've got no mates, so,
Me neither. Apart from you two.
Yeah, we go then.
Right, we have Ronald in the house. Hi, Ronald. We have Brian as well. Thank you. 2 for the price of 1, yes?
Absolutely.
Right, so firstly, this is something I've been sort of meaning to ask you, and you may have answered it on one of your lives before, so apologies if you have. But you both work together, I take it. You do, yeah, I knew that bit. But what I want to know is, because I didn't watch your channel from the very, very beginning. I came across you a little bit after. But how did the channel start? I know it wasn't just one of you, but whose idea was it? What was the thought process? Was it movies? Was it fragrance? Just give me a bit of the chat and me a bit of sort of a history as to what happened and why the channel came about and the chats you maybe had in the background.
So I'll start this one off, shall I, Ant?
Yeah.
So I initially started the channel, and it wasn't to do with fragrance or movies. I had the stupid idea of thinking that I was going to review everything and anything that I liked. So this could be protein shakes, movies, this, that. And then probably after 2 weeks, I realized, yeah, that's not going to sort of work or gel. So then I thought, right, okay, think of 2 things that I'm going to like. One is movies and the other is aftershave. And I'd probably say my main reason was I was watching videos of Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, and he was doing his drinking games and just having a laugh. And I absolutely loved it. And I thought, how cool would it be to do videos, go over stuff that you sort of enjoy, talk about aftershave, talk about movies. So then I started the doing that. And then I knew Ant loved movies. And then at some point I said, do you want to jump on? And then it blossomed from there.
The rest is history.
Yeah. To be fair, Ant didn't really start into the fragrance game until a bit later on, did you, Ant?
Yeah, it was what kind of towards what? So we're in 2021 now. I'm trying to. It was towards kind of like end of 2019, really. Yeah. So it wasn't really that long at all, really. But yeah, from movies perspective, it's been feels like forever now, but it's probably been the last couple of years, really, hasn't it?
Yeah. So Ant was a bit nervous at first doing a fragrance review because he was like, "I'm not into it. I've only got like one fragrance on the shelf," and then he got absolutely hooked, and then just obliterated the amount of fragrances that I've got, and just went on a massive spending spree. Yeah,
that rabbit hole got big very, very quickly. But it was fun though. It's fun. I'm still kind of like tucked away in that rabbit hole now. Every time I've got a little bit of extra cash, it's like, I don't have a little bit of extra cash anymore. So
I know the feeling. This, I remember your first review, Anne. I remember you actually messaging me around that time, actually, and I really was rooting from you from the very beginning. So obviously I was watching Nik already, and then you said, right, I'm going to jump on and do a fragrance review. And you just took to it immediately. And I find it really, really awesome that you two have got two people that are massively into it now that you can talk to about it. And you're actually friends outside of the fragrance community in a way, and work colleagues. So you've got that bond where you can now talk about it regularly, and not a lot of people have that. Obviously Becca's got a little bit more into it, so I can talk to her about a few things. She doesn't get fed up or bite my head off about it anymore. She's quite open to a discussion with whereas at the beginning she didn't really understand it. So it's only me doing it for a little while she started getting into it. But I haven't got anybody locally or friend-wise, or the closest person to me is Steve from Fragdicted. He lives about 20 minutes away from me, so it's not far at all. But I haven't got anyone locally or my existing group of friends or family that are into it at all. So it's just alien to everybody. So it's
I can remember the videos you did with Steve.
Yeah, and that was quite
somewhere out, didn't you?
Yeah, Steve was nice enough to sort of agree to do that as well, because that was quite early on in my journey. I think I'd only started in the October, and I think we'd done that video around the January time, so it was quite early on, which was quite nice. But no, so yeah, no, I was just interested in that. Thank you. Next, what are you okay to discuss this? If you're not, we'll move on very quickly. And what do you? I don't expect the company or anything, but what do you actually do for a living? What is the job title? Are you allowed to give that away, or would you rather not?
Yeah, sure. It's a hired assassin.
Anyone that speaks about the job title will be taken out.
Yeah, so we used to do the exact same job. We were both on the same team, and I moved away from it. But we were both kind of to be fair, we've both kind of like moved up in terms of what jobs we do together over the years, really.
Yeah.
But we kind of like both known each other mainly as kind of like managers, as managers of a team. And I moved away into kind of like an analytical kind of role now. So I kind of do more kind of like boring kind of numbers and all that kind of stuff. But Nick's still firmly in with the hustle.
Yeah. So I've got like a team of 10, and it's a sort of collections environment. So we deal with debt and collecting debt in an energy company.
Okay. So quite. I bet that could be quite stressful, actually, that job, especially as a team leader or manager, definitely. So, right, moving on then. So I'm just prying here, and it's just getting to know you guys a little bit more. So
yeah, go for it.
Nick, you're quite private with this, a little bit more than probably Ant is actually. But what is your setup at home? So obviously, wife, 2 children.
Yep, 2 girls, 5 and 4. Sophia and Sienna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Challenging ages for lockdown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we were a bit crazy having them so close together, but it's worked out in the long run. It's made the parties cheaper because we've got both of them are 2 days apart in June.
Oh, wow. So just do it immediately, yeah.
Yeah. So very.
It's almost like you timed it. It's almost like you timed it, Nick.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Excellent. There is you're probably, I don't know if you've listened to it, Nick, but there's a fantastic podcast from Rob Beckett and Parenting Lockdown.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've not listened to it, but I've definitely heard of it.
Both actually, because your boys are they similar age?
My boys 2 and 4.
Yeah, so a little bit younger, but not too far different.
Yeah,
that podcast, if you both get any time, go and listen to it. It's fantastic. Really, really good. And very, they've done it for quite some time because of all the lockdowns we've had. So I think you'll enjoy that, definitely. Right. So do you remember the first fragrance that you ever bought?
Yeah. Nick, yours is going to be a long time ago, right?
Yeah. I was wearing like fragrances in secondary school, like early secondary school. I think I was like the only lad in the year just wearing aftershave. And I think people in school thought I was a bit weird. They're like, why are you wearing aftershave? I think I know which one it was. And I think it might have been, it's between 2 and my memory's rubbish. It's either Tommy Hilfiger, that original, or Versace blue jeans.
Mate, mine was Versace blue jeans.
I think you're both a little bit younger than me. My first was YSL Jazz was the first one I actually purchased.
Baby.
The one in the black and the white bottle, old school. So that was probably early 90s, I would say, 13, 14 years old. So yeah, 93.
I remember getting Versace blue jeans and thinking I was an absolute boss because it came in a tin. Like, yeah. And it's Versace. I'm like, yeah, Versace, baby. Yeah.
My bottle had lost the cap. So I just had the little plastic thing that stuck out. So I just had to press it against my skin.
I get out. I'll tell you a fragrance that's been discussed recently is that Boss Orange in the bottle, you know, the one that looks like the Death Star.
The Boss in Motion. I've got that.
The clip used to break because you push it from the bottom, and the clip used to break inside it, and you had no choice but to take the lid off and either buy a new one and then you just have a spare bottle to replace it when you finish, or if you were anything like what you just said, you'd grab the end of it and sort of be trying to on your skin, almost piercing your skin. I don't know if anyone else has done that in the chat. Brilliant. But no, Tommy was one of mine early ones as well. I had a few Kuros, Eternity, all sort of those sort of old school ones. And it's only when when I really got into it, I would say, and this is similar to Chris, is when Lamal came to sort of become big, because that was the first, to me, like a sweet fragrance that smelled really nice. Everything before then was slightly sort of 80s vibe to it.
Yeah.
Even Fahrenheit around that time, I found it a bit challenging as a young man. But then when Le Male came out, that was it. Bang, signature sent for about 3 or 4 years, clubbing out every weekend. That was fantastic.
Tommy reminds me of when I was in school, everyone had a Tommy fleece.
Yeah, Tommy Hilfiger fleece. I
Yeah,
had one.
it was all the
I
colours.
had a bright orange one.
Yeah,
I love those. Love those fleeces.
It was the in thing.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
Nick?
No.
Oh,
no,
sorry,
it doesn't
I'm
belong on
sorry.
a pizza. It doesn't. And the reason that I say this is because Nick's that offended. He's gone.
no, I kicked him out.
Oh. The reason that I say it doesn't is because I can't find, and I might be wrong. I could just be uneducated with food, but I can't find in any other food where I would warm up pineapple.
Would you put apple in pasta?
No.
You don't put pineapple on pizza. You just don't.
Yeah, it don't work for me. Absolutely not.
I get the sweet and the salty. I get the contrast in the two, but the idea of hot pineapple just it kind of offends me.
Yeah, I think I really like hot pineapple. Someone done pineapple big circles on a barbecue once. I had it on foil. Just put that warm pineapple juice is fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously not for you guys. I'm not going to talk you around.
Absolutely not.
More for you that way then, mate. More for you.
Right. So, Nick, first of all, so what you mentioned it briefly in part of the chat before, but your fragrance journey, you said it started out with watching maybe Carlos.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that sort of was the trigger for you to go, you know what, I want to do this? Or was it because you'd already set it up? What was the sort of the motive or your inspiration to sort of start the channel yourself and start talking about fragrances? Was there a reason?
I think it was just the sort of fun aspect of it. So it wasn't a financial reason. I thought it just looked fun. Something to do, make use of some time, and there was no sort of particular reason to say, all right, okay, I want to go earn lots of money, because I knew that that's not going to happen. I think it was just a case of watching like Carlos. I think even Jeremy in the early days, where he was doing all his videos with all the ladies and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just I just felt like it was okay. Let's dive into it, a bit of a hobby. But when I first started, I think people thought, "Why are you doing videos about aftershave?" Especially in work. I think when me and Ant were doing it, some people are, "You two doing videos about aftershave?"
Yeah, it's kind of like, what'd you say?
Yeah,
it's just like, well, and the only way you can get around it, because it is a like to like the everyday person, it's a kind of a weird thing to do. It's a strange thing to do, but it's no different. I'd just say it's no different than reviewing anything. Like it's you just find out what it is and you discuss it and you describe it. It's just reviewing anything. Like you can review shoes, you could review socks if you wanted to. Like it doesn't mean that there isn't a market to do it, just because like it's not a normal thing to do every day. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Some of the faces you get around work when you tell people, they're kind of like, oh, okay, cool.
I think also some of it, Tony, was I like the sort of editing part of videoing. So I like the sort of creative side of it, where you can mess around with it, add in effects and stuff like that. So I think some of it was I wanted to do some funky stuff with the editing aspect of it.
And you can tell that, you really can. So definitely. And I think we've had your explanation. I think you got forced into it by Nick, was basically.
Essentially, yeah. It was almost a kind of like, it was something that I wanted to kind of get involved in anyway, because I was solely doing the movie reviewing, which I love doing anyway. And you know, everyone kind of knows, anyone that knows, watched the channel and seen us in any lives or knows me in any way, that I love movies and will always want to review movies. But it was a case of that I saw what the kind of interaction was like. I saw what the community was like, but because I wasn't really engaged in it or doing anything, it was just kind of like I was just watching. I was just seeing it all happen, and it wasn't a case of I felt like I needed to get into it for one other reason. It was kind of like, okay, this looks like a really nice community to get into. Nick, you were also kind of saying, just try it, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you can do it, and then you know if you don't like it, doesn't take, then you don't have to. You still got the movies and stuff like that. And then it was just fortunate enough I tried it, liked it, and yeah, it's like an IV drip to the vein now, isn't it? So
yeah, and I think I was like force smelling and aftershave.
Yeah, it was like every day. Smell
this one. Smell this
smell
one.
this. If anyone around the corner heard it, it was like every other hour. It was like, "Oi, smell this. come and smell me. Come and smell my arm."
Brilliant. Yeah, it's you mentioned actually about the people finding it weird. I couldn't really come clean and admit to it for a little while. It was. And even now, I find it, people say like, oh, "What do you do?" Or I've had like I had to come clean at work because I did it in the first lockdown actually, but just before that lockdown happened, one of my friends at work, he found my page by accident. He found my Instagram page, and then on the Instagram page, you'll see all the adverts and other things that will link it to the YouTube. So the first time I knew I was going to have to come clean was when he followed me on Instagram. I was like,
walking slowly to work.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh no. So yeah, he had followed me on Instagram, and the reason for that was because he'd asked me about something because he knew I was into aftershave. He knew that much, or aftershave as I call it. He knew I was into fragrance, and he asked me where he could find like cheaper versions of what he's got, and he'd seen me bring different things in and stuff. So I told him about Rosa Salas at the time. So he followed Rosa Salas. Then Rosa Salas put me on one of their stories. So Vitor put me on one of the stories with a little snippet of a review.
Yeah.
And he found it from that, clicked on it, see me. It's just like, he said he was like a kid in the sweet shop. He was like, oh yeah, ready to tell everyone. I came in the next day and he just gave me a smirk, and I walked over and I was like, you fucking telling anyone? And he didn't, to be fair, he didn't. I said, look, I'll tell people when I'm ready. Please don't say anything.
I'll give you some free samples.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was bribing me. So I had to order him a pizza every Friday night. It was. So I got to lockdown. Lockdown came straight after then. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm not going to see everyone for a while. Let's just come clean and tell people what I'm doing, which is what I did. So Tara's put that one of her co-workers found the channel as well. So it happens, I think.
I think lockdown has actually helped people kind of understand kind of little niches that other people have as well, you know, because it's like a coping mechanism almost. Like some people kind of just do what they want. And even he put it as a joke there, but Bri put, just say you're doing an OnlyFans, it's much easier to explain. Like loads of people have got their own different niche. And I think that one good thing that lockdown's done is that even if you said this to someone now, they'd just be like, oh, cool. Whereas you said it a year ago or a year and a half ago, they'd be like, that's weird. That's really weird. But I think people are more accepting of it now because it's just something new that people can get into. Yeah,
I've come in at work. I've come into work with them putting my videos on the TV. Where they've got a big TV in the showroom, like in a customer area, and I'll walk in and they'll all be standing there waiting. They've seen the car turn up and they're like now, and they've got it on the TV as I walk in, like, it's just like,
that's amazing. You want to embrace it, do a jezza, walk in some Speedos and just
start spinning
and spraying.
So brilliant. Right, on to the next question then. Right, did either of you play any sports growing up?
Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Yeah, I played a little bit of football now and again. and dabbled in a little bit of basketball actually, which is weird. You don't really find a lot of basketball over here, but yeah, I played a little bit of basketball, but other than that, just that really.
Mine was more martial arts, so doing like taekwondo and loads of other different ones.
Excellent.
It was not a game.
Right. So, favorite computer game growing up, Nick?
GoldenEye.
Something from you?
GoldenEye N64.
Oh,
straight in there, mate. Straight in there.
Honestly, the hours that me and my mates spent on that, flipping out.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Okay. I've got two really, and it's probably because of hours clocked on it. But it was Need for Speed Underground 2. Just because, and these have kind of got little kind of like similarities. Actually, they're very different in terms of what they are, but there's similarities. So there's Need for Speed Underground 2 because you get to. It was like an open world racing game, and you get to soup up cars, and like the inner little gangster comes out in you. And then the other one was a game called Def Jam Fight for New York, and that was a fighting game, but you played as hip hop stars and rap stars. So, but again, that's just the gangster inside, just kind of trying to emerge. But yeah, the amount of hours clocked on those two games is probably unhealthy, if I'm being honest. It's an unhealthy amount of hours.
Yeah, sensible soccer. Remember that, Matt.
I think Matt was a Pro Evo man rather than FIFA.
Pro Evo, for sure.
In the early days.
Yeah.
I think the most time racked up on a game for me would probably be Championship Manager, followed by Football Manager.
Champ Manager was dangerous. The very early one.
You get lost in that very, very quickly.
Hours and hours and hours and hours. But some other great games I loved. Do you both remember a game called Road Rash?
Oh yeah, the motorbike.
Yeah, Road Rash.
Baseball batting
You're driving, yeah.
Trains.
Yeah. I used to love Road Rash.
That was a fantastic game. And would you say now, if you had a choice between two games, I'm playing 3 games at the moment. I'm not really a gamer anymore, I would say. Like if I played my sons at FIFA, for example, they were absolute, one's 19, one's 15. They would whoop me now. But I would have been playing football. I would have been playing FIFA with them when they were young. And it's weird how it's gone where I don't get the time. I've got other interests now. So it really is for me a bit of downtime. When we go, I said that when I go to bed, it's like 10 o'clock and Becca's gone to sleep. I might think, well, do I watch some YouTube stuff? Do I watch a movie? Do I watch a TV series? Or do I just put Call of Duty on for an hour or something? So for me, it's Call of Duty or FIFA. Not so much FIFA anymore, more Call of Duty. But I've just started playing Fortnite, which is really, really sad.
Mate, I don't play it anymore, but there was a time, maybe it was definitely within the last 5 years, and it's been around for a while. But I started to play Fortnite like when it was only a year old, and I probably played it for like 2 years straight, and it's far too addictive, and it's very easy just to kind of lose yourself. The hours just go. Like I remember sitting down and playing it, and then you kind of like look at the clock, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, where is the time just gone? But yeah, Fortnite is. I don't bash anyone for playing Fortnite because I've been there. I've been there.
It was only because Phoebe came in. She's got a Switch, and that her brothers showed her Fortnite, and she's not massively into it, but she's like, Dad, did you know I can play Fortnite on my Switch and you can join me on your PlayStation? So I was like, can you? Should we try it? So it's like bringing me back to young dad playing computer games with the 2 boys. So I was like, right, we're doing this. Get it loaded. So we got it loaded, and we were playing Fortnite together, and we weren't very good at all. I was worse than Phoebe, I think. So like I've had it in my mind now, right, if I play with Phoebe again, I've now got to be good. I've got to protect her because we go in as a pair. So I've been getting some practice in. It's quite addictive. You're right.
It really is, mate.
You know what? I think I knew I was getting older when I spoke to my team, and I was like, "Can you remember the Master System with Alex the Kid built in?" And they were like,
Alex Kidd,
what the hell is a Master System?
I was only talking about that the other day, actually, someone at work. That's weird. I was a kid with the rock paper scissors mini game in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the hamburgers.
Yeah, man. That was wicked.
So, right, on to the next question. What's the last fragrance that you both purchased?
I've actually got it right next to me.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
already?
Yeah.
Is this the newest one or the one we were talking about the other day? Or
No. So
Yeah,
I bought.
we ordered it 10 minutes ago.
Tony, I think you've got this one.
Okay.
Let me get it out. It's quite a bit of a beefy one.
that one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that one.
Classic.
It's the oud one, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic. So I got this 40 quid. Yeah, love it. Really nice.
We'll have a chat about that in a moment. Nick, what was your last one?
I've just bought two, actually.
Ooh, okay.
One is one that I've not tried, and one is one that I haven't had for a long, long time. So I've just bought CK1 just because I haven't smelt it for maybe 20 years. And I saw it and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. And then the other one that I'm going to review when it arrives is Rasasi. I think is it Darej? The purple bottle, yeah. Because I've looked at reviews for it and it was fairly priced. I think it was only like 20 something quid for 100 ml. So I think it was like 25 quid or something like that. So I was like, yeah, I'll get it, see what it's like. And I've heard good things. So yeah, that's the latest one I bought, but they're not even arrived. They've not even arrived yet.
I've also purchased Mancera Cedra Boys.
You like
Latino. Love it, yeah.
Second bottle, isn't it?
Yeah, 120 ml for 70 quid.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, on Natino.
Notino.
So I thought I'd grab that because it's been showing up for about 100 and something on there. So when it dropped, I was like...
Seems to have taken over in the UK, doesn't it, as sort of the place to go and buy fragrances at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the first place I look. It's the first. I don't know if it's just out of habit or anything like that, but if I kind of feel like I want to get something that's original rather than kind of like a dupe or a clone or anything like that, I'll go straight to Notino.
Yeah, it's Nick. Going back to this fragrance. Now, I reviewed it and I found it very, very, very difficult to put my finger on what I liked about it. If you get it on cloves, because you don't get much oud from it. It's not an oudy fragrance, but the dry down. If you spray it on something, I sprayed it on I sprayed it on my wrist and it got onto a work jacket. And I could still, anytime I went to smell something, I could still smell that on my work jacket literally days later. And in that deep dry down, you get a little bit of the oud in that phase where it just stays on clothes, and that's where it is. But I think my title said there's just something about it.
Well, I initially smelt it when Barry had sent me some samples, and when I opened the envelope, all I could smell was that, and I didn't know it was that. And I messaged Barry going, "There's something in this that I love already," and he said, "Oh, it's classic." Oh, yeah. Sprayed it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's that." There's like a sweetness to it that I really love. Yeah, it's just really nice.
But it's got this depth, and I've had genuine. I know it's not that important to people, but I don't get people take no notice of what me and Bex wear at work at all. Really, Bex could take in a lovely, lovely handbag, and people in the motor trade, they're just oblivious to anything at all. She's got this lovely handbag that we got her in last summer, and she took it into work. Couldn't wait to take it in after going back after lockdown. No one said a thing. The girl, no one says anything. You could get yourself a nice new pair of shoes, a nice new suit. No one ever says anything. So they're not going to say something if I smell nice. But I walked in the office and did something and walked out. And then it was about 10, 15 minutes after I'd walked in that office, someone said, I think Tony is wearing that. He walked past and I smelt it. And that was that fragrance. It literally, the sillage of it is huge. It just lingers in the air. I don't know what they've done to it, but it's a good combination. You're gonna have to get Ant a sample if he hasn't had one already. And see if he likes it.
We're hoping to in the next couple of months, once things start to kind of like alleviate in terms of like lockdown restrictions and stuff like that. We're going to get together again and do some filming of collab videos and stuff like that, because it's been a while since the last time, wasn't it? So yeah, we'll get to do some sampling.
Absolutely.
Some sample swaps and videos and stuff. Yeah,
for sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. What? Here we go. What would you say is your favourite? So you're in a pub and they've got every single lager on draft. What would you pick?
Not lager. Yeah.
Like what?
Only lager.
No. Actually, for you then, Anne, what would you? Would it be?
It'd be a cider, I think.
Cider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lager's weird, right? I've never drank anything that's made of liquid that is so dry in my life. Like it's so dry, and I've never been able to get used to the taste of it. Like I've tried to force myself to drink pints and pints of it, and I'm just like, this tastes like shit. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, no, mine would be a pint of cider, made like a sweet cider. I could drink any like berry, any fruit cider, but kind of like but any sweet cider, like cloudy cider or anything like that, I'll probably be drawn to.
And Nick, are you a lager drinker?
I did when I was younger, but then I moved on to spirits. And what was weird is I found I got absolutely hammered on lager, probably only on like 4 or 5 pints, but then I could drink spirits all night.
Yeah.
Lager just used to batter me. But if I had to pick one, it would be Peroni. I like Peroni.
Yeah, Peroni.
Staying true to the roots.
Italian stuff.
Yeah, staying true to the roots. You know what's a killer? You know what's a killer that I've found that I've never drank before? I've had no interest in drinking it, but I've now kind of like developed a taste for it. Wine. I don't know if that's just age. Now I'm like 30 odd, but like wine gets me absolutely wrecked as well. Like
you're going for a bit of red wine, aren't we? Sunday dinner.
No, rosé, and it's just rosé as well. Like gets me wrecked, mate. Like proper wrecked.
I think, as you both know, I'm a massive foodie, but I'm not saying I'm a big drinker, but I just love anything to do with taste buds, anything to do with trying new things. So you can imagine, like going into a supermarket and just even picking a bottle of wine is a nightmare for me because I'm like wine, spirits, lager, and it's hell going shopping for me. Cake, it's just I'm just in there for hours because I'm just like, right, what can I try? What can I try? So it's so everyone had hell that the only place they could go to was the supermarket. I was in my element. I was like, right, what? The problem is every time I go, I need to buy something. So I'm just like, right, what can I get? And I only ever treat myself to like one thing. Like I go, right, I'm going to buy myself a nice bottle of rum or something. So I'm like, right, so we're going shopping this week, and I'm going to buy a bottle of rum. It's as bad as fragrance for me. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm not even a big drinker. Like if you look in like where all my drinks are, I've got in the garage. It's nice and cool out there, so I keep everything out there. And I've got I don't know how many bottles I've even got now. Not as many as fragrance, but I've got a few, and they've all got sort of that much out of them. Nothing's like I don't drink them like mad. I do have some favourites, but yeah, I'm a massive foodie and wine. I love anything. It's just dangerous, really. It's not good for my weight at all.
I do like Jack Daniels though.
Yeah,
Jack Daniels and Coke. Can't go wrong.
I'm not a massive whiskey fan. No. Like it's just I've never been one for whiskey. Vodka's easy because it's vodka's vodka. It's got that perfume taste, but it's all right. But that's just the easy one to go for. But yeah, I've never been a massive whiskey drinker. Like I'll if someone gives me like a Jack Daniels and Coke or whatever, but I'll drink it. But I'm never going to choose it.
Yeah.
Tell you what blew me away is the Chris and Brandon talking about they're I think very similar to me and what they like, and it was Chris that actually said to me, like, because I always struggle with like Scottish whiskey and stuff. It's just my father-in-law's massively into it, and I'm acquiring a bit of a taste, but I prefer Bourbon and I prefer rum, just something a little bit easier to drink. And with the rum, I got into Kraken big time.
Spice rum.
Yeah.
See, spice rum I
Very nice.
like. Spice rum I can get on with, but like white rum or anything like that, I'm not a massive fan of. But spice rum I could probably drink all night.
Well, now
Cracking
you
is
know.
great.
You know when people say like you ruin it if you put it with like Coke or lemonade, or you ruin it. Now what I do is I just fill a glass up of ice and then just pour myself. This is on Friday night usually when Nigel's doing his live, and just pour myself like the biggest glass of rum ever. And I just leave it for 5-10 minutes and let the ice just start to go, and it just seems to draw all the flavors out. And that's what Chris told me. He said just dilute it with a little bit of water, but I do that with ice instead.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to that end, you taste like the caramel, the spices. It's like fragrance when you're trying to pick things out. It's the first time that's ever happened to me with any type of drink ever. It doesn't with wine. I like the flavor, but I don't tend to pick things out. Whereas that is, I just love it.
Sounds
I
dangerous.
must admit, I watched a video of Brandon's. For the life of me, Brandon, sorry, I can't remember which one it was, but you made a cocktail, and my God, that looks so delicious. But it was full of stuff that I knew I would not like. But my God, it looked delicious. So
That was on
props to
his.
Brandon.
That was on the video where he was running to the shop.
It could be,
and the shop was
the whiff of waffle cone.
Yeah, wiffle
One.
waff.
Whiffle waffle, whiffle waff. Yeah. Waffle, whiffle waff.
With a waffle cone.
Yeah.
I think it was anyway.
And while we're on food and drink, I know this is a fragrance stream, but everyone knows I'm going to ask this. What's your favourite cake?
Oh,
Chocolate fudge.
Hot.
I prefer it cold with cream, but most people prefer it hot with ice cream. Well, I mean, I can eat it hot with ice cream. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's delicious, but I'll always prefer it cold with cream, with double cream. Yeah, like a full bowl of double cream. Like when I was younger, I would get the. Oh gosh, I'm salivating thinking about it, actually. I get so much cream, and I would mush the cake up, so it made like this cakey cream kind of like drink almost. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that this week now.
In a jug.
I prefer the little cakes. So like your sort of cherry bakewells, your swirls, even them sort of what I think they're called butterfly cupcakes.
Yeah,
they're even nice. Yeah,
just love cake. Love cake. Everyone knows.
Tara double cream is just pouring cream. I think you probably know it's pouring cream.
Yeah, but they do single cream and double cream is just like a thicker, more whipped version, I think, of single.
Yeah, unhealthy, much less healthy.
We are. We've got get some Japanese whiskey. Chris got some Japanese whiskey from a group of people, and I do need to try some. I got some my father-in-law some for his birthday this year, and I do need to get some Japanese whiskey definitely. Right, let's get back to a fragrance question.
Okay,
this is an unusual one. I have asked it before, and it might take a little bit of thought. But if you could blend two fragrance reviewers together to make the perfect fragrance reviewer, who would you pick?
Appearance wise, or
whatever you want. Whether you want to go for someone that's going to make something the best video, or the looks, whatever angle you want to go at. There's no wrong or right way to answer it. Some thinking time.
Okay.
I've got one, I think. So I'm going to go. My first one will be Sebastian, just because I think he's got like ridiculous amount of frags, and I like the knowledge that he sort of talks about on some of his on his channel. Then I'd mix that in with Chris from Fragmental because of all his editing, the quality, and it'd be them two for me.
You can tell we think alike, Nick. Because I was going to go with something similar. I mean, mine was going to be more Stephen from Red Lessons, because I feel like what he doesn't know about fragrance isn't worth knowing. And what always surprised me about it, like when maybe a couple of months back, I was flicking through Redolescence videos, and it just keeps going and going and going. There's just so many, and whichever one you click on, there's just like a plethora of knowledge. It's just like there's so much to take in. But then I would mix him with Chris, and mainly because of recently of late, like I've been finding Chris's videos more and more hilarious, but like intentionally funny. Like he's an actually really, really funny guy. Like you watch a lot of videos and they're unintentionally funny, but like, people are just being silly and they're not meaning to or anything like that. But I don't know if it's the British wit and the British humor that comes across, along with the editing, you know, the knowledge and everything like that. But yeah, they're the two that I would mix. But yeah, of late, I've been finding Chris's videos like increasingly more funny. Like even just the Turbo 10 videos that he's doing, just with the quick one-liners that he's bringing out. It's like it's enough to make you just kind of like go, ha!
Yeah, no, I think it is good old, as you say, good old British wit. It's I think sometimes I don't think it's scripted, some of his stuff as well. I think he'll have a script of what to keep to, but then as you say something, he's quick-witted enough to add a quick one-liner in there, which I think, and that is definitely not easy for everybody to do, is it? You've got
to have a presence as well, haven't you? You've got to have a camera presence. You got to know how to work the situation you're in. But I have just seen Demi with Jeremy's voice.
What about Jeremy with Demi's clothes? Or the other way around, she could wear his white suits.
Brilliant. So tough question, but no, quite an interesting one, I thought. Right, if you could go anywhere on holiday right now, no expenses, like I'm paying, you're off, where do you think in the world you'd like to go to?
Mauritius.
Oh yes.
I just want to go somewhere where I literally don't have to think about anything, anyone, any care in the world. I just want to lie on sand with really, really nice weather and just not have to worry about the world for a couple of weeks. That just sounds like heaven to me right now.
Yeah. My brother's answered the Maldives. That'll be mine.
Oh, yeah, or Maldives.
I think I'd probably go somewhere fun, like Universal Studios.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm a big kid for all the rides and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could do that every day.
You can travel to the beaches. You can go to Miami and all that.
Be a great holiday, and it's not the cheapest holiday. I said no expenses paid, and that would cost a bomb, wouldn't it, for a family?
Yeah. It's a pricey one, that is. But I like that answer, Nick. I like that answer.
So I'll just say hello to a few more people in the chat. Fragrance Gene, and obviously D'Angelo, I noticed in the chat a little bit earlier. Jonathan, my brother Meadsy is in there, and one of my brother's subs and another gaming reviewer, Yoda, is in there. So thanks everyone for joining. Appreciate it. And Luke is there. Hi Luke, how are you doing? Long time no see. I hope you're doing well, mate.
Luke is better.
Not seen Luke in a while.
I know.
No, I'm not seeing Luke. Obviously, Luke must be busy with life.
Yeah.
So I hope you're doing okay, Luke. Anyway,
missed his filth.
Are there any animals would you say that you are scared of? Are you a love? Like, let's start spiders. Are you okay with spiders?
Yeah, as long as they're not like bigger than me. You know, like those chunky ones that got bigger legs than I have. But no, the ones you see like just like running across your lounge and stuff like that. Kind of like autumn time. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But yeah, the ones that look like they could eat me, I'm not down with that.
No.
I think mainly spiders are fine.
Yeah, I'm not too bad with too much stuff. I think it's anything that will overpower you, always going to take you down.
Good old Luke. You can always rely on Luke or Brian to. Oh dear. Right. Name me 3 fragrances that you would, not 3, up to 3. You can name 1 or 2 if you want to, but up to 3 fragrances. If I said, right, quick shotgun to your head. I'm going to buy you 3 fragrances now. What are you going to buy? Ant.
That I don't have.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, my mind gone blank. Aventus, just because I know it gets a lot of stick, but I really quite like it. My gosh. Oh my gosh. Why has my mind gone blank?
Nick, quick fire. First one.
No, got one. The Chronic.
Oh.
And Nick, you go whilst I'm thinking.
Nishane Annie.
Oh.
The Rizazi Layuka one. Really like that one. What would be my third one? I would have said Mansera Cedra, but I've just bought it, so that would have been on my list.
You know what? I'm gonna based upon the sampling we did, Nick.
Yeah.
I would say Delina by Parfum de Marly, and I know it's female marketed, but I would wear that every day of the week.
There is a sweet rose. I'll send you a link afterwards, and it's not Delina. It's not like it at all. It's more of a sort of Middle Eastern fragrance, but it's a sweet rose that's in a similar ilk to it, which I'll send you the link to afterwards.
Once I found out what it was, I was like, if I can find out a way to buy that for someone, I'm gonna, even if I just choose to buy it for myself. To be fair, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got one. Guerlain Spiritus.
Double Vanille.
Yeah.
Double
Vanille.
So this is the next subject, and I think I can get Nick's straight away. Name me 3 fragrance notes that you really like.
Vanilla. Obs. Sandalwood. Cinnamon.
Nice. Good choice.
Mine's vanilla, cedar, and probably. Hello?
I'm on tender hooks here, mate. Oh no, I think you dipped out.
All right, amber.
Oh right, okay. It's just all here, just like.
Is he leaving us on a cliffhanger here? It was worth it, Nick. It was.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. We'll let you off, Nick.
Should have had some like EastEnders music.
Have you ever seen Luke's thing there?
When the fragrance. I heard when.
Brilliant. Just catching up. Delina reminds me of Turkish Delight. Yeah, this is. I've got a fragrance that reminds me of Turkish Delight as well, and I'm going to have to send you the link. It's evading me, but I've got it. It's a gold bottle, and it's got a double X on the front of it. Someone in the chat might be able to let me know what it is.
Oh, is that
food or something like that? It is. It's
yes, Swiss Arabian.
Swiss Arabian. You got it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good one, and it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. I bought a nearly full bottle off eBay for less than 20 quid, and it was very, very nice. So, very nice. Tony will buy all these fragrances now and steal all them back later in the live. Don't ruin my questions, Brian. Brilliant. Right. So, what's your favourite flavour jelly bean? Random.
I mean, I did not expect that to come out.
Oh my god!
I haven't had jelly beans in years. Bubble gum?
Yeah, they do have bubble gum flavour.
Is it jelly bellies though? Is they're the same thing? The jelly beans, jelly belly? Yeah. Bubble gum. I think bubble gum. Yeah. Like I'm not down for like the vomit and that kind of shit.
No,
I'm not down for that. But bubble gum.
I think I'll just go for anything that looks red.
Yeah.
The red one.
Yeah, I love that red one. Because that'll either be strawberry or something nice and sweet.
Yeah,
Unless
usually
you've got
red's
them
a safe
horrible
bet,
boxes.
isn't it? Usually red's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Darren's being rude. Dear, oh dear. Right. I'm not even on the screen.
Bit of beanage. Strawberry.
And this is a really tough question, I think. You might already have an answer for this because I'm sure you would have been asked. But who is your favourite actor and actress?
Whoa.
Have you been put on the spot like that before, or is it?
I have, but it tends to change.
Yeah.
It tends to change depending on whether or not they've put anything new out and stuff like that. But I would usually kind of go along the realms of Denzel Washington is probably one of my favorite actors, if not favorite. I struggle to find anything that he's kind of in that you kind of don't love.
I flick between Al Pacino, who's like a bit old school, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, see, Leo's always a safe bet as well. Like, and he's solid. He's solid. Like you can always rely on him. Actress, it's going to sound weird. It's going to sound weird, but like Lady Gaga really gets me, especially in A Star Is Born. Like I know it's like I never expected it, but like I felt like her performance in that movie alone kind of like blows so many different actresses out the water very, very easily. But again, it changes, it chops and changes depending on like what I'm watching, what kind of movies I'm like kind of in the mood for and things like that. It's difficult.
Hard, like.
I only asked that because you didn't actually catch me unaware, but you asked that question. Do you remember to a series of reviewers? And I answered Leonardo DiCaprio. Actually, was my answer. Just everything he's in is just unbelievable. I think so.
I think I like. I wouldn't say from an actress point of view in terms of the quality of acting, but I like the movies she does. Sandra Bullock. I like some of the films that she's been in. Meryl Streep, quality actress.
I like Viola Davis as well. Viola Davis is solid. She's always great in whatever she's in. Even Widows, like Widows was not like, it was an okay movie, but like she was solid in that as well. And but like she's, and you can talk about things like Suicide Squad as well. Like Suicide Squad was objectively, it was a terrible movie, but she was wicked in it. So yeah, it changes quite a bit.
And have you got an all-time favourite film? Would you say
Jaws?
Jaws, yeah.
Heat for me.
Huh?
Heat.
Oh, I thought you said it. I was like, what?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, Jaws is hands down. Like I've watched it ever since I was far too young to be able to watch it, and will continue to watch it periodically throughout the rest of my life. It's the greatest movie ever made.
Excellent. And this is going back to fragrance again and more linked to your channel. And I think I can guess what yours. I know what my proudest moment is of yours anyway. But have you got a sort of a standout moment that you've been proud of, or a video that you've done, or something that you've really thought, actually, that I'm actually doing some good here. This is worth continuing. Is there something that's been a standout for you, or a moment where you thought, yeah, I think I'm quite good at this. I'm going to continue doing it. I know we don't look at ourselves in that way, but there must. And am I guessing the 24-hour stream was that?
Yeah, I think that probably goes without saying for me. I mean, the sense of achievement that I felt at the end of it was awesome. And it was quite funny actually. I was thinking about it earlier on as I was in my bedroom, and there's Nigel's trophy that he got for me. I just kind of like caught my eye, and I started to think like when I agreed to do it and I started posting it, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then like the day before, I started to feel a tickle in my throat, and I started to feel poorly, and I'm like, that'll go away. And oh my God, I felt god awful the entire 24 hours. It was awful.
Your nose was going all sorts, wasn't
Mate, it was all, by the end of it, I could barely talk.
Yeah.
It was about a week to recover.
Yeah, it was fucking horrible. It was horrible. Like being awake 24 hours is bad enough to like throw your sleep cycle out of whack. But you know, I couldn't talk. My throat was killing. My nose was all blocked. I was it's like walking death. But yeah, no, it was great. That was It's probably in terms of doing it for the channel as well. Yeah, it's definitely the best kind of like moment for me. That and being called a pikey for my review of what was it? What review was it for, Nick?
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, I think that was my first. That was my first kind of negative comment. I got called a pikey.
Nick, what's been yours? There must be a video or something that you think, you know what, I done a good job there.
I think there was one where I'd switched my sort of editing style and started adding lots of fancy stuff in. And I think it was the Atelier where I'd reviewed different samples of them. And I'd got loads of sort of feedback on the editing of the video. And I think it was like the first time where people had talked about the editing and I'd switched it up. So that sort of sticks in my mind. And I'd probably also say the stream that we did where we were talking about the candles. I think that sort of
that was like the third week, wasn't it? That was like week 3, I think that was.
Yeah. So we were sort of testing the motions with the live, and then that one happened, and we were like, yeah, we really like this, we enjoy it. So yeah, I'd probably say that one.
Nick, I think one of my favorites of yours was you did a top list. I can't remember what it was for, but it was like we were talking about it for a while beforehand, because you said I'm going to try and do this kind of style of editing where you just kind of you're talking, but like the cuts to the fragrance bottles were just really quick and snappy, but they looked awesome. And that was the first time we kind of like really kind of said that we were going to really start upping our game. And yours was really noticeable, like straight away. I think that's when you asked that, Tony, like what that was for. And I was thinking for Nick, that was the first thing that came to my head. And I even think it got mentioned on the podcast with Steve and Chris, because Steve was really impressed with it as well. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but that was like the first kind of like thing that I thought of when you asked that question too.
I think it was the music as well. It's the transitions and the flickering you've got on the background and the way that you'd film the bottles, and it just all, and the lighting as well. People don't realize how much goes into these. Sometimes you just stumble across it. You mentioned it about mine as well, and it doesn't look so good tonight. It's very, very dark. I've got 2 softbox lights in front of me. Yeah. Your rooms still look incredibly bright. I think if I'd had my phone, I think my laptop camera is just not quite as good. But I stumbled across this area with this soft light and the softbox and stuff just by accident. It's just weird. Nick, that was no accident. Everything just came together perfectly, didn't it? The music that you picked was sort of cool, and it just matched everything. Everything was just, I loved it. I know the one you mean, and that was the one that was in my mind as well, Ant. Definitely. Fantastic video. It does change once you do something like that. I think it changes maybe your direction on what you want to do. And we all look at the same person when we do. We all look at the same person when we think of editing, and that is Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Aspires to be to that standard. Now, Chris is always going to have this problem that because he's so good at what he does with his editing, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to aspire to that, and it's almost going to be like they're copying. But it's just such a high level of intricate details that go into his editing that we all aspire to do, and it's only really reviewers or filmmakers or people that do this type of thing notice these little transitions and these little things that he does. I noticed in the last video he did, the turbo, was that 1 takes, was it 100 takes? It was the tiniest little detail in a video that no one else, a lot of people wouldn't have picked up on, but it was just so quick, and it's like, whoa, that was cool. I think Chris is always going to have that problem that we aspire to be in having that editing at that level, because it's just.
Yeah, and I think if people then started to kind of like say that, oh, you're copying or stuff like that, and it's not, you kind of, like you said, it's inspiration. You use it to as long as you aren't literally doing the exact same thing in the same place and for the same thing, obviously, of course, but you're always going to have your own little spin on it. Like, no matter how close you get to that style of editing and that maybe that slow motion shot or that wide shot, that tracking shot, however you want to do it, you're never going to do it the exact same, nor should you want to ever really do it the exact same. You pull on what you like out of it, and then you pull it into your own style. But yeah, I mean, like, inspiration comes in all kinds of forms. It's just that I suppose we all kind of appreciate and understand the level of detail that Chris puts into his videos that we all really quite like, because we're all kind of like a similar kind of like mindsets when it comes to that. But you can pull, inspiration from all different places, and not just, just from each other, but just things you see even on TV. Like you can watch shots from, like, I find that quite a lot, where I'll watch a shot from a movie and then I'll go, like, is that, can I, is there any way that we could incorporate that into that, or that transition or whatever that is? But like, you find inspiration. Like, maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being weird, but I find inspiration in all kinds of places for that kind of stuff.
I've only just started noticing that sort of thing. And the companies that have been involved in making the movie, they've got their little, it's like a little intro, isn't it? It's their graphic eventually comes on the screen. Even those little graphics, I'm thinking, I'd like to have something like that as my intro into my videos. That is cool. Actually, I think I could get someone to do it, or I could do something similar. And yeah, you're right. You do grab inspiration from other things, definitely. But with Chris, Bex keeps telling me this because I'm just so eager to improve things. I've got new software I got my MacBook for my birthday. I'm not showing off here. This was a massive part of my investment into my channel, and I was saving to get it. And then all of a sudden, I've got it handed to me. And I've hardly used it. I use it for my streaming because it's much easier setup. The microphone built in's reasonable. It's just an easy setup. But the one thing I've got this software on there, and it's Final Cut Pro. Is the software.
Okay. And
it's like a £300 piece of software.
Yeah, that's expensive. That is, yeah.
And I've got it loaded on, and it's having the time to learn it.
Yeah.
If I want to do it, I want to do it right. So, right. I'm thinking to myself, I've got to watch every single YouTube video going on this software to grab little tutorials and work out how to use it. But people don't realize the time invested into just doing just like an evening where I just want to relax. Do I watch a movie? Do I watch that? I'd have to do that literally every night and invest my time into doing it.
I mean, you can see why it's a full-time job for people, can't you? Because, like, we're talking about kind of like the basic of basics. We're talking about a fragrance review of a fragrance bottle. I mean, there's not much you can really capture. In reality, there's really not much you can capture there. Like, you can do some shots, you can whatever, but there's not much you can do. And yet you still spend hours and hours and hours sitting in front of that computer trying to edit the slightest detail. And you imagine if you've got something that's, half an hour to an hour long, you'd be there for days just editing. So yeah, it's not something to be kind of like scoffed at, that how much time it takes. And especially when, like you said, you've got all the tools at your disposal as well. Final Cut Pro, you could make a movie with that. Like, reality, you could make a movie with that software.
That are built into that software is incredible.
It's mad.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, so like most of our videos, they're between 5 and 15 minutes long or whatever. You could be editing that for like 2-3 hours minimum.
Yeah.
Especially like you said with Final Cut Pro, I'd be like a kid in a candy store, mate.
Yeah, I do need to spend just evenings on the laptop when Bex goes to sleep and invest my time into it. Definitely, I've done a little bit and I've had a little play with it and I've made a couple of little test things with it. But it's just so in depth. There's so much to learn. And on your film, on your movie, I've got iMovie I use on my phone. Everything's shot on 4K on my phone. uploading in 4K, so it's a reasonable standard for a phone. But but I can literally, all my ums and ers and ands and stuff in the video, I've just got so slick at just going cut in iMovie, and then I move over to another software to add maybe a little transition here and there, some text, the subscribe buttons, all that kind of thing. I add the music, I add all that afterwards. But even just the music, do you find this as well? I am subscribed. If anyone needs music for anything, by the way, Epidemic Sound is incredible. It's like £10 a month.
Yeah, it is really good.
And I could spend hours just finding a track to download. Think, is this going to be right for the video? And you still never think you've got it right, even when you've got it. You just want to look for another one because it's just unlimited.
Yeah. So, I'm in a similar boat, Tony. Like I've exclusively, for every single review I've done, I've exclusively used iMovie just because of how easy and quick it is. And you don't get lots with it, but it's very, very easy to be able to just do your quick cut editing. But I've recently just bought a subscription to Filmora. There you go. Off the back of Nick's recommendation, and it's like you said, just trying to learn all these new ways of doing it, and things not working the exact same way that you expect it to work from how it works before. It bumps them hours up. It definitely bumps them hours up. Like, I mean, just looking around at what there is, and like you said, for music, for example, like you could be literally looking for the right song, but you don't just stop and go, okay, that sounds good, because you want to hear what the next one is, and then the next one. Then before you know, you're 100 deep, and the first one that the second one that you heard was good, but you've now listened to 98 more just because you might want to listen to more. And before you know it, 3 hours has gone, and you've not done anything.
Yeah, I know, and that's the problem, isn't it? It's even just working out, even on Final Cut Pro, right? That transition's nice.
Yeah.
What else is there? And then you just like you're testing every transition and changing the seconds of the transition up and down, and it's just one tiny little thing of that software. People don't realize how much you could get involved in this.
Get lost in it.
Will make a great video, but you will not be pushing out more than one video a week unless you do
no chance. Yeah, no chance.
Yeah, you need.
Mine is sound effects, so I like to add the odd impact noise or a pop to make it stand out a little bit more. So sometimes I've wasted an hour looking for just a 1 second noise. So yeah.
And Epidemic Sound is great for that as well, by the way. Those sound effects are all on there. It's great. Right. So we're actually going through the questions really well. I thought we'd be on a lot longer before the questions came anywhere near the end. So we're doing really, really well. What would you say your favorite type of movie genre? What's your favorite genre of movie? Is it horror, comedy? What would you say is your favorite, pair of you?
Mine is horror, followed closely by romantic comedy.
Rom-coms.
I think mine is action / martial arts.
Yeah. I don't think that's yours. I know that's yours.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with a good horror, if I'm being honest. Like, you say you can go wrong. Finding a good horror these days is very, very difficult. It isn't just jump scare. But yeah, I really enjoy the feeling of being scared whilst watching a movie. Like I'd always prefer to watch a horror movie alone, just because it adds to the atmosphere. If you find a really scary movie, the next couple of hours alone is never fun, but it's always I find a good experience to try and watch a horror movie in the dark alone to get the maximum impact out of it. And yeah, I think then bursted with the rom-com. If you find a good rom-com, you look at like the epitome of rom-com for me is Love Actually. Love Actually, I could watch every day of the week because it's a perfect rom-com. But it's very different, very, very different to horror.
I think I some rom-coms. That's right. I think with my martial art ones was when I was younger, when I was watching like Van Damme films, because it was on VHS, I'd had to do it like step by step to see how's the kick done, how does it look, how can I do that. So yeah, VHS was a pain in my life, rewinding, fast forwarding.
Nick, did you ever watch a movie? It was years ago when I was younger. I was absolutely obsessed with it. The Three Ninjas.
Oh yeah, Tum Tum.
Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum.
Yeah.
Bangers, bangers.
Loved it.
Brilliant. I like British gangster or gangster films in general. I love like Snatch. I think we've discussed this as well, haven't we, on my answers that we did on that thing. But I also love like apocalyptic films or Stuck on a Desert Island films.
Oh yeah, I like them.
Yeah,
I've got a bit of a sort of adventure to it, like that. That thought of being stuck on a desert island, of how would you survive? Anything like that, I love. So loved Lost when it came out as a series until it got to about past the second season, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore, because that first part of it, the planes crash, they've all got to survive. That is just literally right up my street.
Yeah,
until it started getting a bit silly. So Tom Hanks, The Castaway, and things like that, just
wicked movie. It's a wicked movie as well.
Also, end of the world movies, like apocalypse, like I said, like anything zombie. I just love anything like that as well.
There's a new zombie movie coming out. I think next month, actually, on Netflix. The Army of the Dead, is it, Nick? Is that the one?
Yeah, Army of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Dawn of the Dead type of zombie kind of thing, Tony. So if you like zombie movies, it's on Netflix next month. Look out for it.
I will do. I think I've seen that on, because I always do this as well. The coming soon bit. I always click on that and watch all the previews of it. So
Sure.
I'm always looking at what's coming out on Netflix, definitely. So yeah, I'll definitely watch out for that. The Walking Dead, I love that when it started. Again, it got to about third or fourth season in. A bit further on that one, I started getting a bit fed up with that one.
That got too Hollywood for me. I really loved it because I've read like up to the point where I was watching it. At that point, I'd read all the comics for Walking Dead as well, so I was like comparing it, which was it was wicked to do. But then it got to the point in the TV show where it became too Hollywood, and they were having like car chases and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's just it's not for me.
Brilliant. Right. So this is a really, really random question.
Go.
In order, name me your top 3 supermarkets.
Okay. Okay.
Morrison's, Asda, Sainsbury's.
Oof, God, you went. Nick's he came prepared. Jeez. Okay. Aldi/Lidl for value, 3. 2 would be Tesco, because that's where I would kind of like go for everyday shop. And 1 would be the kind of like where I would go for kind of like upper tier levels, Marks Spencer's or Waitrose, one of the 2.
Nice choices. Sorry, that's very random, I know.
But the fact that Nick answered those very quickly tells me that he's been asked that. What was all that about, Nick?
Order of shopping. Morrison's is where we go. Asda's the backup, and Sainsbury's is, look, we can't get it there. We go with Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's have usually got some good stuff as well. So yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah,
I love Waitrose for one reason. I don't
bakery.
I can't afford it, but they've got the sushi counter there.
Yeah, I'm not down for that. But their bakery, like Waitrose bakery.
Oh yeah,
dangerous.
Sainsbury's bakery is good though. If you go into a big city.
Yeah, they are. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been in town in God knows how long, but there's a Waitrose just around the corner from where we work. Yeah, and like if you get there first thing in the morning, Lord have mercy.
That whiff.
Yeah, you walk in, you're like, oh yeah.
I do my full shop in Aldi, and there's a couple of reasons for that. It is great value. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it's about 5 minutes in the car from my house. It's my closest one, and it's quite a big store as well. So it's just so handy having it there. So yeah, I like all the clones they do. Yes, they do quite a lot of clones.
Mate, Aldi and Lidl, like, and they've always really got like fresh stuff as well. They've always got like fresh fruit and veg. Like, it's always fresh. It's like, sometimes you'll go to like Asda or Tesco, and some of the stuff you pick up is like it goes off tomorrow or something like that. You never get that with Aldi, which is a weird conversation.
Freshen up.
Welcome to life. Is this a fragrant stream? So what
Supermarket sweep.
This is my second to last question. I've got some quick fire things afterwards. So we'll ask the chat if they've got some questions as well. But what would you say your hopes and dreams are for your fragrance journey or your channel? Have you got like an end game? Is there? Has the goals changed as well as you've moved along? So,
well, mine is live with Jeremy Fragrance in his Miami apartment, get matching speedos, and power and no. I think it depends really, doesn't it? Because we've got two very different. And I don't know how Nick feels about this, but I think we've spoken about it. But we've got two very different directions in terms of fragrance and movies. Like, in the movie element and the movie side, before lockdown hit, we started to branch out into the we tried to start to branch out in kind of like the interviewing element of it, and trying to get people within the industry interviewed and discuss whatever topic they're in. So kind of like it was stuntmen interviewing a director, interviewing a stuntman, and all those kind of things. So the movie side of things, that it kind of going into the kind of more, I wouldn't necessarily say like journalistic kind of view of it, but more kind of like interviewee side. And especially now that lockdowns hit and no real kind of like movies are in the cinemas, it's kind of like it's completely dropped off our radar in terms of content wise. It's probably going to pick up a lot more in the next couple of months, because we can see new movies, and we've got access to new movies, and new movies are being released more than anything. But yeah, I suppose it's a discussion that we probably need to have around that, about where we want to go with it and what we want to do with it, because we've been not doing it for so long. It can maybe really kind of give us a time to kind of stop, pause, and think about how we move with it going forward. In terms of the fragrance one, Nick, I don't know if you had any thoughts about where it wants to go, but we've just kind of been like just cracking on with what we've been doing and the lives, and they've kind of been dipping in and out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
I think we're just sort of going with the flow, really. I don't think we have it's not like a goal set to say, right, I want to be here by December, or I want to take the channel in this direction. I think it's just go with the flow. If something new comes up, then we'll try it, test it out, and see if it works. But yeah, we haven't got a sort of game plan or anything like that, because it's more of we're just sort of doing it for fun, bit of a hobby. It's not a sort of business mindset for where we want to sort of transition with the fragrance stuff. So it's just keeping it enjoyable. That's the main thing, rather than it try to go too stale.
Always, Luke. He's causing trouble all the time. He's more trouble than me.
Always.
And I suppose having that kind of mentality around what we're doing and why we're doing it, and the content means that whenever we want to maybe take a break away from doing things for whatever reason, that we've got the freedom to be able to do so, rather than saying that I know I need to hit X by X date and stuff like that, because then you kind of tied down to doing it. Whereas, with both of us doing it, yes, it might be that if one wants to stop, the other one can do it. But if we both want to have like a bit of downtime at the same time, we're not kind of like tied into, we have to do this because otherwise this isn't going to grow X amount, or we're going to lose subs or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of nice just to be able to kind of go, yeah, it's cool that we want to do it whilst we're really kind of interested in it, and if the interests change, then things can change along with it.
Yeah, that's great answers. I find it really, I don't ask many people that, but I find it really interesting asking the question, because it's really interesting to see what people's motivation and goals are. If there's any goals, they're just doing it for fun. What is their motivation behind the channel and stuff? And you mentioned something, Anne, about sort of stepping back and need to maybe have a chat with Anne and see what we want to do and what direction we want to take the channel. It's not usually sometimes an end goal. I think that end goal will constantly change. So I don't think there is an end goal, is there? I think it will just every time you hit a milestone or something happens, or you find a way of doing something different, you'll just keep moving that on, I think. Naturally.
Yeah. I think I know in like my mind is if we wanted to sort of focus on the fragrance side, we know what sort of content we'd have to keep doing week in, week out to build the channel up, doing your top 10s and all that. And I think it's just a case of we want to make it enjoyable, and I don't want it to be laborious and have to do that to build the channel up. I think just let it go as it wants to. If it doesn't increase, it doesn't increase. But as long as I'm enjoying it and doing what we're doing, then that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, and in terms of kind of like subs and AdSense and stuff like that, we're not with the type of kind of like subs we've got and the audience we've got, we're never going to be it's never going to be something that we're doing for the financial value of it. We're never going to get rich by doing this. So we can make enough to every couple of months buy a fragrance or something like that to review, then great. It's never going to be something that we're going to use to kind of like make life decisions on. So it's it's cool that we don't have to rely on that, and we're not thinking about having to rely on that anyway.
Yeah, this one of those things Darren said there. That's quite good. Don't say never. It's you never know. There might be just one video that blows up, or no one knows where it's going to go. I don't know what people think about my motivation. Has never been sort of money from it, because people laugh and joke about this, like, oh, you must do okay, but it is, you are far out of pocket, far in a minus figure from what you do. To give you guys an idea, you're probably the same. It took me like 3 months to get you have to earn a certain amount. It took me 3 months in this last 3 months. I haven't pushed that much content to get, but that little amount of money, it doesn't mean the tiniest thing to me at all. It doesn't mean anything. And it's more about enjoying, as you say, what you're doing. I think for me, my end goal is, do I want this to be not the reviewing necessarily, and not the Instagram maybe, but do I want to be in this industry as a career going forward? And it doesn't necessarily mean reviewing or, like I said, my page. It's more about, for me at the moment, enjoy what I'm doing, but as I'm doing it and growing, is that building a CV, for example, for me to do something later on with it if I want to change what I do? And I think it's not an end game as such, because I don't expect anything to come of it, but I just want to keep plodding along and seeing where it goes. For me, Instagram's far taken over what I'm doing on YouTube now.
I'll tell you one thing. He's in the chat now. So I think Brian sort of gave us a new lease of life on Instagram with that photo group. I think that gave me and a good boost to sort of say, right, okay, let's get some fancy photos up and a bit of motivation. It was really good, and I like them moments of where it's like, bang, right, okay, I've got some motivation now to sort of go after something different. So big shout out to Brian.
I think also as well, in terms of kind of like motivation and stuff like that, because I've always find my biggest motivation is being around like-minded people. So it's good that that you've got a community of people to be able to bounce off. Like you said for Nick, that kind of like photo group where you've got a group of people that they want to focus on one sole aspect of it, and you've got people that will understand how certain things work and others won't be at that level and stuff like that. So you kind of like bounce off of each other. But yeah, like-minded people in terms of kind of motivation is the biggest one for me. And as long as you kind of like, you can surround yourself with that, then I think you'll always have that motivation to be able to then want to just continue doing it, whatever that end goal is.
Yeah. I'm enjoying finding that photo every day, I think, a little bit more than I am reviewing. My evenings, we said earlier about what do you want to do in the evening, and Becca will come back me up on this. I'll spend a couple of hours editing one photo, just to try, and I'll try different edits as well. I'll try one and go, am I happy with that? And I'm doing that all in an evening, and then getting all my hashtags written, getting everything done. So in the morning, so it's not affecting my job, I get to the morning, I post a photo, and I'll paste the hashtags and I change those all the time. So people don't realise the work and the thing I'm researching hashtags. Researching even like sometimes the bottles. I notice some get a lot more likes. It's more the well-known designer fragrances that get more likes and stuff. It's not just about that, but it's almost like trying to beat yourself all the time. It's a strange motivation to have, I know, but at the same time, I'm really enjoying that sort of creative part of it. It's a thing for me, which is part of the reason for that group. It's a like-minded people in that group that want to not necessarily concentrate on that area, but are good in that area.
Yeah,
we pick those pages. You guys, we pick people purposely in that group because of their pages and what they concentrate on. And me and Brian.
I think what I meant with Brian was in terms of the photos.
Isn't it?
So yeah, him and Stephen, that was the motivational part in terms of going after photos. Because some of the photos I see, I'm like, holy shit, how the hell did you even take that photo?
Yeah.
It just looks like a special effect. It looks that amazing.
So much from those guys. I really am.
Yeah.
It's there's one thing I learned. I've got quite a big it's quite a big photo box, and I found this photograph channel where they were using a photo box, and they had an iPad with a softbox on the iPad, but this iPad had all this soft lighting going through it. I don't know what the app is. I've never found it.
That's cool.
And they had the ISO really, really sort of high. So sort of we're talking 14 seconds or so for a snap. Camera on the tripod ready to take the snap, and they're just glowing this light around the bottle or around the I don't think it even was a bottle, I can't remember what it was, but they're glowing this light round while this shutter speed is about to go off, and then this photo that came from it, it's just insane.
Yeah, Nick, you dabbled into that light painting a bit, didn't you? And you got some
my wife was like,
out of it.
She was like, "What are you doing in the dark in the kitchen, moving a light around?"
Yeah, like
yeah, I was like spinning a light, trying to get this effect going on.
Hi Barry, by the way. Thanks for joining, mate.
Bazaar.
So yeah, it's people got different motivations. There's people who just do it for the journey, and it's a hobby. The fragrance community as well, like you touched on earlier, Ant, is just the friends I've made. I'm going down to London, by the way, to meet a few people, meet like 2 or 3 people, and it's just, I'm sure one day we'll meet, and we've got other people that are going to meet, and you're making friends. And I just know, like, just meeting you two, we're going to get on. You're going to sit or have a drink or meet somewhere, and we know it's not going to be awkward. It's just we're going to be able to talk, and we wouldn't do this. We wouldn't have known each other without this. It's weird, isn't it? It's
meet in a supermarket.
Yeah, which one?
Go shopping together.
Hi Chad. We'll meet at Aldi. over the cake.
I think that's another point as well, is the where you talked about, okay, where do you want your channel to go? I think some of it is that meeting new people in the community. So I think even since when we started our live, there's been people coming in and sort of then being regulars in the live, and you get to know them and having a chat and stuff like that. And I really love that. It's just meeting new people across the world.
It is fantastic. Cool. Well, thanks for answering that, and honestly as well, it's I just find, like I said, I find that question, and I think everybody answer it slightly different, definitely as well. But let's move on to the quick fire questions, and then we'll ask some questions from the chat as well.
Yeah,
so quick fire questions, so you can go in over order, you can fire them at the same time, it doesn't matter. But let's start. Dior or Chanel?
Dior.
Chanel.
Nicolas Cage or Jonathan Travolta?
Nicolas Cage.
Cage.
Horror or comedy? We know this
Horror.
one.
Horror.
Okay. Designer or niche?
Designer.
Pepsi or cola?
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Okay. Be a movie star or a famous perfumer?
Movie star.
Movie star.
Okay. Gin or vodka?
Vodka.
Vodka.
Beer garden or cinema?
Cinema.
Cinema.
Hot or cold?
For
Hot.
Weather.
Hot.
Weather.
Yeah, hot.
Itchy or scratchy?
Itchy.
Scratchy.
It's the same thing, isn't it? Hold on.
Yeah.
I was meant to say sticky. It's meant to be itchy or sticky.
Okay.
Itchy or sticky?
Yeah.
Itchy. No.
Itchy.
Yeah,
I'm
itchy.
really
Itchy.
Iris or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Yeah, okay. FIFA or Call of Duty?
Call of Duty.
Oh. Call of Duty.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea.
Good old boys. Would you rather? This is a question in there that is one or the other again. Would you rather have one life for 1,000 years or 10 lives at 100 years?
10 at 100 because I'd be able to improve each one, presumably.
Good answer, Ant. But
I assume you can remember the previous lives, right? So, like, if you were like after your first life, if you had 10, yeah, 10 at 100.
But you've got that long for 1,000. You could have a ridiculous life.
But you'd outlive everyone you love.
Yeah, true. You'd see everyone go, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'd go for the first one.
Cats or dogs?
Dog.
Right, this is like a World Cup. Margot Robbie or Gal Gadot?
Oh, God damn. Gal Gadot.
Margot Robbie.
Okay. Scarlett Johansson or Megan Fox?
Scarlett.
Okay, so Scarlett or Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
She wins the World Cup.
There you go.
So that is that's the questions actually. So we have done with all the questions. What we'll do, if we could get some questions in the chat, I think Darren asked one. Have you seen the new Godzilla versus
Kong? Yes, I watched it. I was going to do a review of it, but I kind of decided against it because there was not really that much to review. It was okay. It was, it's a Godzilla versus Kong movie. It's a movie about a gorilla fighting a dinosaur. It's all right. There's a lot of it doesn't make sense, but you don't watch it for the story. You watch it for the fight, and that was awesome. But yeah, there's not really much to it.
Excellent. I've just seen that from Michael Stevenson. Some rather deep and searching questions here for a frag group. Yeah, I mean, got to name our favourite free supermarkets for one.
Yeah, and then have a really in-depth conversation about it. Actually,
we've had a bit of everything. I was hoping. I don't like to do free.
We're diverse, mate. Diversity. That's all that's what we're about. We're about that. All got some questions coming through.
Questions coming in. Oh no, it's Barry first. So let's just do that one first. Samuel L. or Denzel?
Denzel Washington. I like Samuel Jackson, but he takes every role that he's given, which it doesn't necessarily cheapen him, but he's in a lot of tosh. It means that he's in a lot of tosh, whereas Denzel is in the stuff that he's in, and I've said it before, the stuff that he's in is good stuff, and he makes it better. Whereas I think Samuel Jackson literally just takes anything that comes his way. And I think he's been interviewed saying, "Why would I turn down money?"
Yeah,
like when people say, "How many you've been in so many roles?" He's like, "Well, why would I turn down money?"
But you get career, surely, especially at his cat, you should pick and choose.
He's been in like over 150 movies or something stupid like that. So like, he doesn't care.
Look at Barry's asked that, because this crossed my mind earlier in the live when you mentioned Denzel. Alex Cross, who Samuel L. Jackson played, Denzel should have been cast for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've read the books, Samuel L. Jackson he doesn't match that description at all. And in my mind, Denzel does. Good looking, tall, handsome. He was late 30s or so. And then I don't understand the Samuel L. Jackson being cast for that movie at all. He was good. He was reasonable in it. But in my mind, I've read all the books, and then that's who they cast. It was just ridiculous.
What's your favourite Samuel Jackson role, Tony?
Oh God.
Deep Blue Sea.
No, I would say, oh God, my mind's just gone blank, but I know the movie. God. Who's in it? John Travolta's in it.
Pulp Fiction.
Who else is in it?
Pulp Fiction.
Bruce Willis is in it.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Sorry, my mind just went completely blank. No, Pulp Fiction, I would say.
Yeah, banger. It's a banger.
Tara's got a question there.
Who's your favourite person that looks a bit like Sharon Stone? Well, that'd be T-Dog.
T to the fact to the files.
T-Dog. Milk or orange juice?
Milk is for babies.
You can ask that.
Milk.
Perfumes.
Milk.
Can I ask this, or is it any? Milk or orange juice? Orange juice. I'm weird with milk because I can't drink milk by itself, but I'll drink milk in cereal.
Do you drink from the bowl?
No.
No,
I'm civilized. I'll use a spoon.
I'll do it with a spoon.
No, I can't drink milk like a glass of milk, but I can drink milk after it's been in cereal because it flavors it. Is that weird?
No, that isn't weird. Bex hates milk. She'll have it in a cup of tea or a little bit on cereal, but she would not be able to drink it on its own. She says it comes from a cow's dangly bits, and why would anyone do that?
You can't argue with that.
No.
But don't you think it's weird who would be the first person to have got that milk out?
Yeah, like what were they thinking?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's have a grab.
Yeah. What's your favourite emoji?
Hammer. Oh, hang on.
Why isn't it the hammer?
The turd.
Yes.
Favorite emoji?
Yeah.
Fire.
Fire's a good one.
Because you can use it to describe quite a lot of things.
Yeah, we've had that question already. It's one about I would ask. Don't know who that is. Do you guys?
I would ask a Godzilla related, but I don't know if anyone knows who Destroyer is. No.
Okay.
And I'll leave that for you for Jaws.
Yeah, it makes a normal movie the greatest movie. If that's the only way I can say it. That's my thoughts on plastic sharks. More mechanical than plastic, I would say.
And Anthony doesn't like your attitude, Barry. So stop it.
Yeah, you triggered me here, Baz. I'm triggered.
Brilliant. Right, well,
that shark kept on malfunctioning and on the set. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I feel like I've mentioned it far too often, actually. But that shark kept on malfunctioning in on the set of Jaws, because it's in water and it's a mechanical shark. It kept on malfunctioning. The same thing happened on Jurassic Park as well with the T-Rex. The T-Rex was, and with the rain scene, because there was that much water poured on the T-Rex, it kept on malfunctioning, and it was malfunctioning while someone was inside the mouth. Like, can you imagine being that guy?
Oh dear. There we go. Right, last 3 questions in the chat.
Okay, last
which fragrance would you pair with your favourite film? From Tara.
What would I pair with Jaws?
And you could have cool water
Oh,
for Jaws. Heat, I'd go for Fahrenheit, even though I'm not too keen on it.
Yeah, great choice.
well, you could have gone with Beyonce Heat.
Oh yeah, could have gone with that. Yeah.
No, I like Fahrenheit better. Would you rather have finger-sized nipples or nipple-sized fingers?
I don't know how a nipple-sized finger would work.
So it means
Imagine someone
popping out
touching a nipple
or
finger.
width.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So
guessing
would you rather have that,
them sticky outy ones are massive.
or would you rather have that? I think I'd rather have finger-sized nipples. I know you need your hands, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Brian's got one there.
If an actor had to play you guys for a biopic today, who would you choose? Who's the sexiest man in the world at the minute? I don't know. My life's been a bit boring, to be honest. So
I'd just go Pacino. He can just shout all the time.
I mean, if you're going to do a biopic, I'd want someone like DiCaprio, because I feel like you could like get into my soul, and plus it'd be a chance to meet him, because presumably he'd want to understand me and get to know me. So get a chance to have a pint with Leonardo DiCaprio would. Have you seen his answers to that? I'll take Jude Law. I'll take Jude Law any day. Luke Ferrigno.
He asked the question because he had the answers ready, basically.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would take Jude Law. I'd take Jude Law.
He's a sexy man.
He's a heartthrob, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Trusted, how you doing? But no, I think that's about it, lads. I think I've really enjoyed that. Time flew by. Absolutely.
My gosh, it's 11:20.
I know, I couldn't believe it. It's just been here for hours. But no, I think we got to the end of the stream.
That was fun.
Yeah. Appreciate you having us on. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. It was good.
Yeah, we've had a good laugh.
Yeah, it has
at least I know everyone's favorite supermarket now. I mean, we get into the heart of what we need to know. It's bringing facts to the forefront of life here.
Oh, it's important stuff as well. It's life, isn't it? It's life that everyone wants to know what everyone gets up to in life, and now we know where we shop for our supermarkets.
Exactly. I know you struggle to pick an alcoholic beverage every time you go to the shop.
Yeah, like I said, a kid in a sweet shop. So yeah, we know a lot more about each other.
I can sleep soundly tonight now.
But no, thank you for everyone for joining, and thanks for everyone in the chat, and thank you to my brother, and I think a couple of people in as well. So thank you to Yoda and a few of the other guys from my brother's channel, Tara and John and Gabby, and I know I'm going to miss all the names, so I won't say them all that, but thank you everyone for joining, Brian. And
thank you.
Yes, thanks everyone. And anyone that's watching that's not in the chat right now, Tony's nearly at 2K subs, so
go and give him a
subscribe.
And I haven't forgot to do this. I do this afterwards. I'm going to be dropping I need a photo from you two for the thumbnail, and I'll be dropping your details in my live as well. So if you're not subscribed to Nik and Ant Talk and Review, Talk N Review, Talk space N space Review into YouTube, and you will find the channel. They do lives, they do fragrance reviews, they do movie reviews. So if you're into your movies as well, you've got something to watch there if you're not necessarily into fragrance. So go and watch them. Great guys. and really appreciate them getting to know them a bit more on the live. We've done a few lives together now, haven't we? We know each other quite well.
Yeah, it's like another night, just a different night, mate. Just a different night.
Format. Different format.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone, and good night. I will end the stream if you guys can stay where you are, and I will see everyone later. But thank you everyone in the chat.
See you later. Love you.
Cheers.